In 2019, year of our Lord, I am making a video about twinking and how to fight them as a blue sentinel. Is there a more redundant a topic than this? Probably not. So just in case you're not familiar with the vernacular, twinking is a roleplay term. It refers to a player character at low level who is playing the game with high level gear. And if you've ever been invaded in Dark Souls before, then I promise you've probably been killed by your fair share of twinks. So, on screen, you're going to see 6 players. This is what they call meta range. My character is level 125. At level 125, there is no such thing as twinks anymore. What you're seeing is just builds. Everyone on screen has their build done. I got summoned in as a Dark Moon by a host wearing the Way of Blue, and so did that other Dark Moon as well. There is a Red Phantom, a Mad Phantom, and a Eldritch Faithful who is a Territorial Spirit. What's interesting in this beautiful harmony at meta range is that a quick gank can just as easily turn into a on-the-spot random fight club, which kind of happens right here. In one moment we're working together, me and that other blue, to take out our red target, and then just like that, me, the host, the Mad Phantom, chill, let those two have their little sparring session, then I tap in. And this can happen because everyone's on equal footing. Now, I'm not going to act like ego doesn't factor into it. If you're playing Dark Souls, ego always factors into it, even at meta range. If anything, maybe more so, since it's going to be more competitive. However, having said that, I do feel as if loss is easier to digest at meta range, simply because at this point of the game, it's about the build, it's about other player interaction. The threat of getting through an area, for instance, or beating that boss, or getting those souls, or losing those souls, the weight of that isn't really on you anymore. So when you come in as a Blue Sentinel or a Dark Moon at lower level, you'll be helping hosts that are still feeling that burn of trying to get through the game, perhaps. And you'll be fighting invaders that are still enjoying that actual invasion experience where they come in and have to fight multiple opponents. Now, hosts dictate the terms and conditions in Dark Souls 3 when it comes to matchmaking. Their level and their weapon reinforcement is what invaders have to build their characters around. So even though they're twinking, they're limited to what the host range is. Now in this game, I'm level 19. There is a red invader twinking. He had the Groove Spear out a moment ago, and the Gold Phantom behind me is a password summon. I never actually see the host during this whole invasion, but the password summon and me are doing a pretty good job at quartering this invader who's twinking. And you can see right there, he's got the normal twink attire, he's got the parry shield, he's got the Dragon Slayer axe. You will see a lot of Dragon Slayer axes, even in 2019. Okay, it's one of 3 or 4 weapons that you'll almost always see, although some people are a little bit more creative with their characters and you may not see them as often. What you will not notice are the rings and other factors as well, but when you start getting into a scuffle, you'll begin to see, okay, this player's definitely wearing this ring, or this player's got this equipped, or they're using this gesture from this area of the game. As a blue, you have the same propensity to do this. I just switched to the fire bombs there, the non-black ones, because those dogs were running in and interrupting our little fight here. Remember that, black fire bombs are only for invaders. Regular fire bombs are for mobs. Now, I got a pretty good poison build here with my level 19 Blue Sentinel. If you take a quick look at me, it appears as if my character on screen is more or less limited to the outskirts of Farron in terms of my equipment and what I'm using, but the reality is I'm as twinked out as this invader probably is. I have high level Estus, and by that I mean I've got more uses and reinforcement than the host probably does at this area. I've also got several +3 rings on that I've traded down from a higher level playthrough. So this red invader is expecting a blue sentinel to come in randomly who's pretty dispatchable, and I am not so dispatchable. And what actually happens here is me and this gold sort of create a kind of gauntlet that he can't break through, and he actually ends up leaving the Red Invader, I mean. And by that I mean he black crystals. And this gold gets a little bit cheeky too, using the gestures, so I'm thinking there was some salt involved with that black crystal also. But yeah, I'm going to show a couple of clips here of what a anti-Twink Blue Sentinel or Dark Moon should look like at low level. And these are all things you can do too in the game, because if invaders can do it, there's no reason why you can't either. If you really want to dedicate yourself to being a blue boy or a blue girl, then this is what you may have to resort to, especially in 2019, because the player base is getting better and you have to be better too. So sit back, enjoy some of the clips, and hopefully you can learn a thing or two.